When we think about the wind, many of us remember quiet moments outdoors. We feel the air moving across our skin, sometimes soft like a whisper, sometimes strong like a call. The wind cannot be seen with the eyes, yet we know it is there. It touches the trees, the grass, the water, and even the roofs of our homes. Its presence is felt more than it is observed, and in this way it shows us something important about life. Life itself is often like the wind. We cannot hold it in our hands, and we cannot always see where it comes from or where it is going, but we feel it. We notice its influence in the way people speak to us, in the way time changes our bodies, and in the way seasons pass by. The wind teaches us that not everything needs to be visible to be real. Sometimes the most powerful truths are the ones we cannot measure with our eyes. The gentle presence of the wind also shows us how to live with awareness. When we stop and notice the breeze, we are reminded to be awake in this very moment. A simple breath of air can invite us to pause, to listen, and to feel more deeply the world around us. The small things that the wind moves, leaves, petals, dust, become signs that we are part of something larger. To welcome the wind is to welcome life as it comes. It asks nothing from us but attention. And in giving attention, we begin to understand that even the smallest movement of air carries a message, that we are alive, here, now. When we look closely, we see that the wind is not only gentle, it is also a great force that shapes the world. Over long years, it smooths the edges of rocks and carries seeds across the land. It bends the branches of trees, guiding their growth toward the open sky. Even mountains are slowly touched by its power. The wind reminds us that change does not always happen in sudden bursts. Many times, it happens quietly, little by little, until the world is transformed. In our own lives, we experience the same shaping. Small actions repeated every day create who we become. The words we speak, the choices we make, the way we treat others. These are like the invisible winds that slowly shape our character. Just as the wind can turn a desert into dunes of flowing sand, our daily habits can form the landscape of our hearts. The wind also shows us the balance between strength and softness. A storm can break branches, yet a soft breeze can give life to flowers by carrying pollen. In this way, the wind teaches us that both power and gentleness have their place. Life, too, asks us to know when to be firm and when to be tender. When we notice how the wind shapes the world, we begin to see that nothing stays the same forever. Each gust is part of a larger movement of nature. In the same way, our lives are shaped by countless forces, time, relationships, experiences, that move us toward change. The lesson of the wind is simple. Transformation is always happening, and it is both natural and necessary. The wind is a reminder that the most powerful movements are often unseen. We cannot see the air itself, yet we know it is always in motion. Its presence is revealed by swaying trees, rippling water, or the way a bird glides without effort. This hidden power teaches us that change in life often works in the same way. We may not notice it happening each day, but over time, we realize that everything has shifted. In our personal journey, the invisible currents of change move through us as well. Our thoughts, emotions, and experiences are like the winds inside the heart. They shape our way of seeing the world, even if no one else can observe them. Sometimes we resist this movement, hoping to stay the same, but the wind teaches us that resistance is not the natural way. Air does not stop moving. It flows, it turns, it rises and falls. To live in harmony with life is to move with change rather than against it. The unseen power of the wind also shows us that influence extends beyond what we can measure. A single breeze may carry the fragrance of flowers far across a field. In the same way, The kindness or care we show in small moments can travel farther than we imagine. Our actions, even when unnoticed, become part of a larger movement that touches others. When we learn to trust the invisible power of movement and change, we find a deeper peace. Life is not fixed. It is always flowing. The wind teaches us that unseen forces can guide us, and that change, even when uncertain, carries the possibility of renewal. When we stand outside and let the wind touch us, we notice its song. Sometimes it is soft, moving like a quiet breath through the grass. Other times it is loud, rushing through trees or pressing against windows. The voice of the wind is always different, yet it carries a sense of truth. In the same way, there is a voice inside each of us. It may be quiet, it may be strong, but it speaks to us in moments of stillness. This inner voice is easy to ignore when life becomes busy. We fill our days with noise, and we forget to listen. But just as the wind asks for our attention, so does the quiet truth within. When we allow ourselves to be silent, we can hear it more clearly. It may guide us toward patience, remind us to rest, or help us understand the feelings we carry. The voice of the wind within us also shifts, just as the weather changes. At times, it brings gentle comfort. At other times, it calls us to make a change we may have delayed. Listening does not mean we must always act quickly. It means being open, like a tree that bends but does not break. In this openness, we discover that life has a rhythm, and we are part of it. When we listen carefully, the wind teaches us to trust what is already inside. We learn that answers do not always come from outside sources. They often rise from our own hearts, waiting for us to hear them. The quiet voice within is not separate from the world around us. It is the same breath that moves through the trees, the same current that carries the wind across the sky. As we think back on the wind, we see that it is both gentle and strong, both silent and full of voice. It shapes the land, carries seeds, and gives life to movement. Yet it is never something we can hold or control. The wind reminds us that life itself is not about possession, but about presence. It is about noticing what is here, now, and allowing it to pass through us with grace. The lessons of the wind are simple, but they reach deeply into the heart. It teaches us to accept change, to welcome both strength and softness, and to listen to the quiet voice within ourselves. It shows us that even what cannot be seen can hold great meaning. To live with the spirit of the wind is to live with openness, patience, and trust in the natural flow of existence. When we stand in the breeze, we are reminded that we are part of something greater than ourselves. Each breath of air connects us to the earth, to the sky, and to every living being. This connection is a gift, always present, waiting for us to notice. Before I end, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks. To those who have offered kind support through likes, subscriptions, comments, super thanks, and membership, please know that your generosity and presence are deeply appreciated. Your kindness helps this space continue, and it means more than words can fully express. May the wind that moves across the earth also move gently through your days, bringing peace and quiet strength to your life.